Breaking, United States B-2 strikes near Caracas. Air defenses never detected it.
2:41 a.m. local time. Northern Venezuela is quiet. No sirens, no alerts. Above the clouds, a B-2 Spirit is already inside Venezuelan airspace, moving at about 485 miles per hour, heading southwest. The distance to the target is just over 100 miles. There are no radio calls, no spikes on radar screens. Just a black aircraft slipping forward, unseen. This is not a routine flight. It is the United States moving straight toward one of the most protected military zones in the country. One aircraft versus layered defenses built to stop an attack that never announces itself. On the ground, radar continues to rotate. Operators watch familiar patterns and see nothing out of place. Confidence holds. They believe distance and defenses are enough. They believe if something dangerous were coming, alarms would already be sounding. Inside the cockpit, the silence is the warning. No detection means the strike window is open. Every mile forward cuts reaction time down to seconds. This path was chosen carefully to avoid the strongest sensors. This is not an accident. It is a message written in timing and direction. Venezuela thinks it is in control. They do not know the moment has already passed. If you want to follow how this confrontation unfolds step by step, subscribe now. This strike was never about a single blast or a single building. The target sits outside Caracas for one reason. From that location, military commanders can see the air picture, move air defense units, and send orders across the country in real time. When that center works, radar talks to missiles, missiles talk to commanders, and every unit knows what to do next. When it goes dark, everything slows down at once. From a tactical view, that makes it the most valuable point on the map. Taking it out does not just damage equipment, it breaks coordination. Units still exist, but they no longer move together. That gap is where confusion grows. There is also a human side that matters. For the crews assigned to that center, this was not just concrete and screens. This was where guidance came from during long shifts, where someone higher up always had answers. When that link disappears, people are left waiting, guessing, and reacting late. Politically, the message is even louder. A B-2 Spirit launching from the central United States, crossing thousands of miles, entering defended airspace, and striking without warning shows something very clear. Distance is no longer safety. Fortification is no longer a guarantee. This is not pressure meant to scare civilians. It is pressure aimed directly at decision makers. It tells them that critical systems can be reached before they can respond. That realization changes how every next move is calculated. Once leaders understand that the center can be hit, every order becomes heavier, slower, and more cautious. And that is exactly why this moment matters far beyond the explosion itself. 3:02 a.m. local time. Nothing explodes yet. Nothing moves on the surface. Inside a Venezuelan air defense control room, the night shift continues as usual. Radar screens glow softly against dark walls. Most tracks are slow and predictable. Commercial flights following known routes. Weather clutter drifting across the display. Normal noise that operators have learned to filter out without thinking. One technician leans forward in his chair. A faint return flickers near the edge of coverage, weak and unstable. It does not behave like an aircraft. The signal fades, then briefly reappears. He adjusts the range, tightens the filter, and watches closely for several seconds. The mark does not hold. It breaks apart and disappears into background noise. He marks it as interference and shifts his attention back to the main screen. No alert is raised. No call is made up the chain of command. At the same moment, far above the clouds, the B-2 Spirit begins a subtle change in posture. Speed eases back slightly to maintain precision. Altitude stabilizes. The aircraft is now less than 70 miles from the target, closing fast without leaving a trace. Inside the cockpit, the atmosphere is calm and deliberate. There is no urgency in the voices, no wasted motion. A final checklist runs quietly. Weapons are armed, coordinates are rechecked, wind and temperature data are confirmed. Each step is acknowledged once, then cleared. Bomb bay doors remain sealed. Opening them too early would alter the aircraft's profile. Seconds matter here, not minutes. On the ground, commanders believe they still have time. No fighters are ordered into the air. No missile batteries shift to combat mode. Phones remain silent. The system built to warn them has nothing to report. This is the first real response of the night, and it is built entirely on absence. As the bomber continues forward, the window for any meaningful reaction shrinks rapidly. Even if detection happened now, defenders would have less than 2 minutes to understand what they were seeing, decide what it meant, and act. That is not enough. Above Venezuela, the aircraft holds its line. Below it, an entire defense network waits for an alarm that will never come. The moment of first contact has already passed. They just do not know it yet. 3:05 a.m. local time. At 35,000 feet, the B-2 Spirit reaches its release point. The aircraft levels out, holding a steady line that was calculated long before takeoff. Speed drops just enough to keep the solution perfect. There is no room for correction once this starts. Inside the cockpit, the bomb bay doors open inward. There is no sound anyone on the ground can hear. Two heavy shapes are now exposed to open air, locked in place for a final second. Every system light stays green. In close combat, timing matters more than force. A few seconds early or late can change everything. The first GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator releases cleanly, dropping away from the aircraft before its guidance system takes control. 3 seconds later, the second follows, nearly identical in path, slightly offset by design. Both begin accelerating fast, falling straight toward a point no radar has marked as threatened. The bomber holds course briefly, then turns north. The doors close. The aircraft's profile returns to silence. On the ground, nothing reacts yet. Radar operators still see an empty sky. Missile crews remain seated. The first sign of danger does not come as a warning tone. It comes as vibration. Deep below the surface, the first impact hits. Not a surface blast, but a violent shock that travels through reinforced concrete and steel. The second strike follows almost immediately, deeper, harder. Power drops. Screens go dark. Backup systems fail to sync. Above ground, structures around the site buckle. Lights across the complex cut out at once. Communications stop mid-sentence. Radar dishes freeze in place, still rotating, but blind. There is a pause. No sound but distant echoes. Then secondary systems begin to collapse. Support buildings crack. Vehicles are thrown aside. Fire rises where there should be none. For the first time, alarms finally sound. But now they are late. There is no target to track, no aircraft to chase. The attack has already moved on. In modern warfare, escalation does not always look like chaos at first. Sometimes it arrives quietly, strikes deep, and leaves nothing behind to fight back against. Above Caracas, the sky is empty again. Below it, the consequences are only beginning. 3:08 a.m. local time. On the ground, confusion spreads faster than any fire. Operators shout for status updates, but no one has a full picture. Some screens are dark. Others show fragments of data that no longer connect. Radios crackle, then fall silent again. Each unit sees only its own small problem, never the larger collapse. Many believe the worst is over. 2 impacts, a brief shock, maybe a limited strike. They are wrong. As the B-2 Spirit pulls farther north, a second sequence begins. Precision-guided bombs separate quietly and drop towards secondary sites that were never meant to stand alone. Radar stations on nearby hills. Missile control vehicles parked under camouflage. Backup communication nodes that commanders trusted as insurance. What no one on the ground realizes yet is that these sites were never meant to survive without the main command center. Each one depends on shared data, shared timing, shared orders. When those links are gone, even intact systems become useless. One radar briefly comes back online. It shows nothing but noise. Another attempts to lock onto a target that is no longer there. Missile crews wait for authorization that never arrives. This is the twist of the operation. The first strike did not end the fight. It removed the ability to fight together. By the time commanders understand what is happening, the pattern becomes clear. This was not about destroying everything, it was about isolating everything. If you believe the United States just proved total control in this moment, press 1. If you think this move risks pushing the conflict too far, Press 9 and comment. Above the city, the bomber is already gone. Below it, systems still powered on begin to fail one by one, simply because they no longer know what to listen to. 3:12 a.m. local time. The night over Caracas flashes again, but this time there is no single center. Small, precise strikes ripple outward, spaced seconds apart. Not chaos, control. Each impact removes another piece of the picture the defenders are desperately trying to rebuild. Inside one surviving control room, a radio comes to life for less than 5 seconds. Any unit confirm target direction? No answer follows. Another officer reaches for a handset, then stops. The line is dead. Power is unstable. Backup generators hesitate, then drop to emergency mode. For a moment, no one speaks. Everyone is listening for orders that never arrive. Above them, the B-2 Spirit is already climbing back toward cruise altitude. Speed increases smoothly. There is no sharp turn, no sudden burst of power. The aircraft leaves the area the same way it entered, quietly and without drawing attention. For several long minutes, nothing chases it. No radar lock, no missile launch, no intercept call. The silence stretches. Crew members on the ground begin to understand what that silence means. This is not a pause before a response. This is the absence of one. In the sky, faint reflections from distant fires briefly light the underside of the bomber's wings. Inside the cockpit, a short message appears, then clears. Primary and secondary objectives neutralized. No cheering follows. No celebration. Just confirmation. On the ground, the reality settles in slowly. The strike is over, but the consequences are not. Units are intact but disconnected. Equipment still works, but no longer together. The system that was built to react in seconds now needs minutes, then hours. In modern conflict, the climax is not always the loudest moment. Sometimes it is the moment when everyone realizes there is nothing left to respond with. If you believe this moment proves absolute air dominance, press 1. If you think it marks the start of a more dangerous phase, press 9 and comment. The bomber disappears into the dark. The night below remains awake, trying to understand what just happened. 4:10 a.m. local time. As the sky slowly begins to lighten, the true scale of what happened becomes impossible to hide. The command complex outside Caracas no longer functions as a command center. Power flickers on and off. Internal networks fail to sync. Communications that once moved instantly now arrive late or not at all. Across the region, military units attempt to check in. Some reports go through, many do not. Messages overlap. Orders contradict each other. Without a central authority to confirm priorities, even routine movements stall. Crews wait, unsure whether to hold position, relocate, or prepare for another strike. Some systems are still physically intact. Screens light up. Radios transmit short signals. Vehicles can still move. But without coordination, none of it works as a single force. The structure that once connected everything has been removed, and replacing it is not fast. It takes time, trust, and clarity. All three are now missing. Outside the country, analysts quickly agree on one point. This was not a large operation measured by aircraft or volume of fire. It was a focused operation measured by impact. One bomber, one short window, and a sequence that lasted only minutes managed to disrupt decision-making at the highest level. The lesson is uncomfortable but clear. Modern defenses are designed to respond once a threat is detected. When detection never happens, reaction becomes guesswork. Even advanced systems pause, and that pause creates vulnerability. For political leadership, the signal is direct. Distance no longer equals protection. Hardened locations no longer guarantee continuity. What matters now is how fast command can recover after losing its core. For the people on duty that night, the experience is more personal. They are still at their posts, still responsible for outcomes, but they are operating without guidance, without confidence, and without knowing if the silence above them means safety or something worse. That uncertainty spreads quickly. It changes behavior. It slows decisions. It forces caution where speed once existed. This moment will be studied not because of how much was destroyed, but because of how much control was lost in such a short time. What happened feels like a conclusion. In reality, it was a test, and the next confrontation may not allow even this much time to react.